Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today. I've got a slightly different setup with, we got little Sammy in the background there, and kind of another angle of my craft room. I'm just figuring things out. I thought this might be cute if you saw Sammy in the background, kind of having his little chill out while I record. Hi, my name's Laura, I got my hair cut. I'm really distracted by my own bangs right now. Yeah, I got a ton of hair cut off. My hair was super long and it's still really long, but compared to what it was, this is just, I lost so much hair and like such a good way. Literally like feels like a weight has been lifted, which is really nice. It's been a long time. But yeah, I wanted to wear it down for you guys. I wanted to wear it down for you, but it just wasn't working. So anyways, it's in a little ponytail, but you can see I've got like curtain bangs and it's all layered. So yeah, I'm not going to go on and on about my hair. um, oh my goodness. So yes, hi. Welcome to the channel. This is I Heart Knitting and my name is Laura and that's Sammy in the background. And you can find me on the internet, on YouTube as I Heart Knitting. You can find me on Instagram as I Heart You. You found me on YouTube already if you're here. You can find me on Instagram as I Heart You, and you can find me on Ravelry as I Heart You Knits. So today I wanted to talk to you about tools mostly. So I want to do a little rundown. Oh, I've got this really cute enamel mug. It says Born to Roam on it. Anyways, I wanted to do a video where I talk to you about, about tools, about different, mostly needles, but also just different tools and things I have and things I've picked up. This is all very like on the fly. I want to start with needles. Okay, so some needles I didn't even bring in here because I don't use them anymore. So that would be things like when I first started knitting, I used a lot of straight needles, and I don't really use straight needles at all, except for one exception, which I'll show you these days. And then as well, like I had an interchangeable set, like an interchangeable circular set when I first started knitting that was like a brand that I bought at Michael's. And I have that still, but I didn't bring it in because they're terrible. Yeah, I have nothing good to say about them. I brought my double points in. This is a set that I got from Knit Picks, and this used to be pretty much exclusively what I used for sock knitting. So this is a 6-inch wooden double pointed needle set. I originally had metal double points. Some of the metal ones are okay, but they're often really heavy and they're just noisy and they're not very nice to use. Oh, bye, Sammy. Yeah, so anyways, double points are great, but I just over the years have really switched over to basically all circular needles. Like I use Magic Loop for most things. I use Magic Loop for my socks, and I just don't find myself using my double points at all anymore. So I have this set. I can't tell you the last time I actually used it. The odd time, maybe I'll pull out a needle when I'm like turning a heel or something on a sock. And it's nice to have a third needle sometimes for turning a sock when it's on the Magic Loop. But other than that, honestly, not really using them. So this is the pouch that I keep my sock needles in when they're not in use. So it's just a good size for circular sock needles. And you can see they just all kind of fit down in there. This bag is by K&H Creationz, and they have an Etsy shop. I'm not sure if they still sell this style or not, but yeah. And so then in here are the needles that are not in use right now. So they're probably the Addies. These ones are Addi Turbos. These are probably not my favorite, to be honest, but I have 3 pairs. There is a reason for that. Like 2 of these Addi sets, so these are you know, I think they're the Addi Turbos, and I have a 2.25 and a 2.5 millimeter, like one of each. Sorry, Sammy's just getting settled. Sighing like an old man. So what was I saying? So these are 40-inch cables, and I have a 2.25 millimeter and a 2.5 millimeter size that I use. And the reason these don't get used a lot is just because of the 40-inch cable. I would recommend a slightly shorter cable like this one. This one is a 32-inch. So these are Addies as well, but this would be the Addie set that I would go for first, is the 32-inch cable. And I've got some socks on the magic loop, so you'll be able to see this when I show that in a minute here. But yeah, you can see these cables do like hold a bit of a memory. Like I've had them packed up probably for a while now, but they're really holding that kind of memory, where these are really complicated to mess with. But see the Hiya Hiya, this is a Hiya Hiya set, and like you can see the cable's not holding that memory. It's also much thinner. This one's just a bit thicker. That's gonna pick that up. But yeah, so these are things to think about when you're picking out needles. This is actually the Hiya Hiya Sharp. These are 2.25 millimeter as well. These are the sharp tips, and they're probably 5 inches long. So they're 5 inches long, and this is the interchangeable set actually, if you can see here. But I just bought the one cable and this set of tips. That's all I bought. So I don't have like the full set or anything. I just basically bought the interchangeables because I thought that maybe down the line I might want more sizes of these or something like that. So anyway, so I really like these. This other pair that I have in use is a Chiago set. So this is a Chiago Fix Circular. It has the 32-inch cable as well. But you can see here, these are the offset needles, which I don't mind at all. I can't say that like I prefer them to the straight needles, this sort of offset thing that it's doing here. Yeah, that's better. But yeah, like I honestly can't say I prefer one or the other, but I don't mind working with the offset at all. This is just a whip that I have for John. And yeah, you can see the 32-inch cable gives you like just enough space to do all your rearranging and pulling things around without having, you know, without having too much extra cable. Like with those Addies that I was showing you, the Addie Turbos, they, between the extra length of the cable and then between also like that cable being like kind of stiff, those two are not a good combination. So you might want to play with the needles before you buy a set, like if you have a chance, or you know, maybe before you invest in like a full, you know, set of interchangeables or something, just buy one, you know, just to see, like I did with the Hiya Hiyas, just to make sure that you like it. I know I like Hiya Hiyas. My favorite needle brands are Hiya Hiya would be number 1, I would say, and then Chiago would be number 2. So these are another Chiago set, which I showed you last time. This is the 9-inch circular, which is like very new to me. I'm just starting this project with the 9-inch circulars for the first time, and I don't love them. I talked about this in a video recently, so I won't go over it. So I should probably go back to these. I didn't mention at the beginning the reason why, well, not the reason why, I want to do one of these videos once a month that isn't, you know, like a project update. But one of the reasons I chose to do one this week is because I've done something on my shoulder and it sucks. So that means that I kind of decided to take a little break from knitting last week. I realized that I was just injuring myself even more. So anyways, I finished my update and then I haven't really been able to knit very much. I've just been doing like a few rows on my socks and that's it. So it's kind of annoying. So yeah, I've got this case where all my interchangeable or my fixed circulars go in, and that's just this nice little metallic gold dealio. And then I don't have a special case for my Chiago set. This is just the set it came with. But to be honest, the only thing I use my Chiago red lace set for is my 2.25 millimeter socks. So I have 3 different cable sizes here. This is the length of the cable, so the cable length is 30-inch. That's the one I use, but it came with a 22 and a 14 as well. 32. I wonder actually if I'm using the middle set. I'm probably using the middle size, you know, 22-inch length cable plus the 5 inches. Yes, plus the 5 inches of cable. So yeah, so this is the 14-inch cable, which would make a 24-inch circular, and then this is the 30-inch cable. So what I like to do is I have my 2.25 millimeter tips on my 22-inch cable, and that's what I do. Yeah, but that's honestly, I really like this red lace set. I'm glad that I have all those small sizes. Like it goes down to like a 000, like a 1.5 millimeter, but I don't really use it. Like maybe in some, you know, someday I will use them, but for the most part, that's all I use this Chiaogoo red lace set for. So honestly, I probably could have just picked up some red lace sorry about the crinkling. I probably could have picked up some red lace like non-interchangeables and had just as happy. So yeah, it comes with this case and it comes with a little needle gauge and it comes with some like tools and a little tool thing, but I don't, honestly, like I said, I don't really use any of this other than just the one set. So maybe that's one you can skip. The other thing, like the other two sets that I have that I use all the time, this is a interchangeable case by Wild Strands Handcrafted. Wild Strand Handcrafted does beautiful, beautiful project bags and as well these knitting cases. So they're waxing their own canvas, which is really cool. And yeah, it has this really nice like buckle, leather buckle, and the rose gold hardware. And then these are the needles that aren't in use right now. And my extra cables are in here. So with my Hiya Hiya set, so this is the Hiya Hiya, not the sharps, just the regular tips. And this is their regular size interchangeable. So that goes from, you know, the US 2.75 millimeters. And that goes all the way up to like a 5 millimeter US 8. So the one thing I did end up buying extra of for this set, so I have this 16-inch set, the 24-inch cable, the 32 and the 40-inch cable. I actually bought myself a 60-inch cable extra. I bought myself an extra 40 and an extra 32 because as you can see, like I'm using both of my 32s cables right now. I'm using one of my 40s. So yeah, I like to have those just as backup because I tend to use certain like cable sizes more than others. And if I was going to buy extra needles, I think I would buy myself a set of like 3.25, 3.5, and maybe 4 millimeters. And that would probably be like everything I need. So yeah, this is the set. This is my go-to set, the one I use most often. So it's got a nice case so it can sit out and look pretty. And then I also have the larger Hiya Hiya set here, but I didn't buy the fancy case. So this is the kind of case you're gonna get with your Hiya Hiya set when you buy it. There's a little zipper pocket at the back. It's fine. It's shiny. Yeah, but then this is the larger set. So this starts at, I guess it's 5.5 millimeters. Yeah, the US 9s. And then this goes all the way up to 10 millimeter, which is a US 15. Yeah, and it again comes with all the cables, the 4 different sizes. So like 16, 24, 32, 40. You can see I'm not using any of these needles right now. Just, it's more for bulkier stuff. But then the other thing I got was when I got those single Hiya Hiya needles and I kind of got my extra cables is I got an adapter. So what this is going to do is this going to be taking your larger needles and adapting them so you can use your smaller cables for them because I have more cables of the smaller size. So Hiya Hiya is my preferred brand just because I find their cables don't have any memory. I don't like super sharp needles. They hurt the tips of my fingers. So they're not crazy sharp like the originals. Even that one set of sharp sock needles does kind of like irritate my finger a little bit if I knit with them a lot. just from like pushing. But the original Hiya Hiya's, like my favorite, that's my go-to. I would highly recommend that if you're looking to invest in a circular set, or an interchangeable circular set. And I would say, you know, the original set gets the most use in my house for sure. So yeah, just something to think about if you're looking to invest in new needles. You know, I don't regret any of the purchases here, but I definitely, personally not loving the Addies for their cables. Really like the Chiaogoo cables. The Hiya Hiya cables are really nice too. Not using this Chiaogoo set a ton, the red lace small set. I might have kind of bought that in one of those like moments a few years ago where I was just like, you know, sometimes you just get kind of like overexcited about something, and everybody was buying the red lace set and I really wanted one too. So yeah, but like I said, Hiya Hiya, my favorite, absolute favorite. Chiaogoo, I think, also does a really nice like set of, what do you call it, like 2.75 to 5 millimeters. So yeah, like I said, try some out if you can kind of find some people who have needles that'll let you try them out, or if you can just buy a single one to try out. And, you know, I know a lot of people like hate interchangeables as well. It's quite possible that like interchangeables just aren't your thing. I like the interchangeables just because it gives me a really great variety of needles to use, you know, with like a smaller investment than having to buy all the sets. But, you know, it's all going to be personal. Something else I would recommend getting if you're going to do socks is get yourself a pair of sock blockers. To be honest with you, the pretty wood ones are better for photos than anything else. I don't often block socks on these, but that being said, these are made by Burning Impressions and they do the custom with your name on the top. Burning Impressions is in northern BC. This is their size small for my feet. But so what I was saying is the wooden ones, you know, maybe they're not the best for drying your socks when you're blocking them from wet, but these have been lacquered many, many times. They're designed to stand up to being used wet with wet socks as blockers. So I can definitely stand by this company and the finishing that they do to their wood. I've never had any issues putting like a wet sock on here. But if you were maybe getting a cheaper wooden set, you might want to check on that and make sure that they're lacquered well. Or the other thing that a lot of people have are those just simple wire ones. Those are honestly the best for blocking. They're going to dry the quickest just because there's good airflow. I don't actually have a set of those. They're really popular and I'm not quite sure why I don't have a set. I just never really got around to getting one, I guess. When I wash my socks, I just hang them to dry, right? I don't block them on the blocker unless I'm taking a photo or giving them to someone. But, you know, if I'm doing my laundry or whatever, I'm not blocking my socks. I think most people probably are not blocking their socks, you know, every wash like that. Burning Impressions also has other great tools that I would recommend checking out. This is another item that I got done at the same time. It's a wraps per inch. So this is technically more of a spinning tool. Like, you know, you have your, you can wrap your yarn along here and measure how many wraps per inch there are. And then this is like a way that you can hold your yarn like into these grooves here. You can see this is grooved in, and figure out kind of what size yarn you have. So this is not a necessary tool. It's really helpful for spinning and great if you don't know what gauge your yarn is or if you don't like trust the label necessarily. So yeah, super nice. They have really great products and really nice customer service. So oh yeah, straight needles. The only straight needles I wanted to show you are in my Knit Picks Knitting Love, All You Knit Is Love bag, and this is for dishcloths. So these are my dishcloth needles. They're these super flexy plastic needles. They have these super sharp little tips, and they are a US 7, 4.5 millimeter. And this is the only thing I use straight needles for, and it's just because I like these little needles, and they're my dishcloth needles. That's kind of what I call them. So yeah, so there's no reason why I would like choose to use straight needles over circulars or anything like that. It's just something that I've always done. These have always been my dishcloth needles, these little guys. And then on to like notions. This is empty right now, but these little tins are super handy for storing little knitting notions. Nice to have one of these like in your project bag or whatever. This little set of precious metal stitch markers is a great little set to have. This is by Cocoa Knits, and it was a gift, but it has silver, gold, and copper, and they have them in a couple different styles in here too, which is fun. So they have like the ring ones like that, and then they also have like the ones that, you know, are like the same style that I sell in the store, these little light bulb ones. And then they have a smaller ring one as well. So yeah, these are my favorite. I gotta put this down. So these are my favorite stitch markers to use, just these teeny tinies. Really simple. This has a nice little like magnetic closure, and then the stitch markers actually stick to the magnet on the inside. So yeah, Cocoa Knits, I have lots of their, it's hard to see because it's all sticky from where a price tag was, I think, but I have lots of these little stitch markers from Cocoa Knits. And then something I just bought for myself recently, I used to have a knitting pouch for all my knitting, but I bought myself a caboodle because I'm regressing, I think. And Caboodles just came back out with like new containers in the last couple years. So this is my caboodle setup. So this is my day-to-day, what I've been keeping on, oh, it matches my eyeshadow. What I've been keeping on, what do you call it? The coffee table, you know, the ottoman. So in here I have a little measuring tape, which is super cute. This was a gift at Christmas. I have a little set of scissors. I have a row counter, which I honestly don't use very much. I have some spare yarn for, you know, putting on sleeves and things like that, some waste yarn. And then this is just a little square of dishcloth cotton that I knit like a few rounds of garter stitch in, and this is what I use for a needle holder, and it's like super handy. It will take you like 10 minutes to make. So yeah, I have some big thick darners on there, and then some smaller darning needles. You know, you can never have too many of those, as well as stitch markers. My personal preference is like little rose gold light bulb stitch markers. I sell these in the Etsy shop. I have 20 different colors of stitch markers now, but rose gold, love it. Going to be a favorite, I think, forever. And then my other, like other than those light bulb ones, my favorite ones to use are the little brass stitch markers like this. So these are by Riv Creative. These are little hearts. I have little hexagons in a smaller size. I have hearts in a smaller size as well. And I have like lots of sets of these. I have more somewhere else, but this is what I keep with me day to day on the coffee table. I really like these. These are my favorite little markers. Just simple, and they're not crazy expensive. You know, get yourself a handful of these. These are always handy, these little locking plastic ones. They're just a bit big and kind of, I don't know. I like the metal ones myself, but the plastic work just fine. And then I've got some little handmade stitch markers in here. So this is like a little unicorn cupcake. This is by Jiggles and Beans. They're in the UK. This little one is also Jiggles and Beans. It's a little like a little ice cream that's had like a bite taken out of it. Love these. This little guy broke his tail's broken, but I still use him. He's a little narwhal. This is by Sugar Tots. They're Canadian, but yeah, his little tail did break. It's sad, but it's still cute. And then I think these came with my Leo and Roxy Christmas set this year. It says Twill and Print. I'm not sure if that's the brand name, but they're little mittens, and one says warm and one says cozy. Very cute. So a few of these are always good. What I usually do actually is I clip these, like I usually have a stitch marker clipped to the zipper of each one of my project bags. So I use it as like a zipper pull, and then if I need it on my project, I have a little stitch marker clipped right. Let me know if there's like some like essential tools or things that maybe I've missed that you think I should have in my kit. Yeah, I just would love to hear some opinions from you guys down below, like what your favorite needles are, what sets that like you could do without, and what sets that are just, you know, your favorite things. Yeah, let me know if you like this new setup and this new background. I had my craft room set up completely differently. So that's where I was filming my videos, and it actually looked really great. But now it's been rearranged, and that's like a big, my like active fabric for my shop. So that's not exactly like super pretty to look at. And yeah, anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. So I rearranged and I like set up this little corner for a desk, and I'm finding I'm not using it as a desk. I use my laptop sitting on the couch most of the time, or I will sit it like on my craft table behind me where I sew and use it there. So I found I'm not really using this little desk corner as efficiently as I thought I was going to be. And so what I want to do is set this up as my like permanent filming background, but I think I'm going to need some curtains. I have Venetian blinds, but I think I'm going to get some curtains to set up if this is going to be the spot for the future. Yeah, so I'm a little all over the place. I hope you enjoyed my rundown of all my needles. I hope that this was helpful for you. I know that other makers have done this, but you know, we all have our own opinions and we all have our own kind of things to say. So hopefully I gave you some info that you didn't have or that you found helpful. Yeah, so otherwise, what have I been up to? Not much. Still pretty quiet around here. It is, you know, we're still basically kind of in lockdown, like no gatherings, no social stuff, but we can still go and, you know, John and I can go eat and we can go shopping, and that's pretty much it. We can grocery shop and we can eat. But I got my hair cut, which is nice. Like I'm able to do that. I know in some places you can't. But yeah, so not much has been going on. I don't really have like a lot of life stuff, and knitting wise, yeah, like it kind of hurt my shoulder and had to basically make a judgment call and get my project bags finished for last week's update. Oh, and thank you so much for everyone who shopped the rainbow update that I posted on Friday. Thank you for your interest in the shop. Thank you for your interest in the YouTube channel. I really love being able to share all these things with you guys. And if you have any ideas for future videos, just let me know down below. All right. Have a great week. Take care.